All right, and now we are back with our last support here for Zenkai Series 9 Ultimate Advent. These are all of the backwards support cards. We are looking at, I think, 5 archetypes today that each got new cards, and including our World Champion card. So, without further ado, let's jump right in. We've got Frieza Swap, which gets a new Z Leader and a 3-cost battle card. So, Emperor's Final Power. This is a Z Awaken for 1 when your life is at 3 or less over Metamorphic Threat. It's a really obnoxious that it can't go over any red Frieza. It's not that it would be crazy to go over the other one, but I don't know, there's just like the fact that we have this other red Frieza that's a little bit safer because it doesn't have to pick down life and it doesn't search only top 2 would be really useful. I think this card is okay in the fact that like it does have the ability to draw, because when you activate Swap you get to draw one, so you can swing, Z Awaken, or swing, draw, and then Z Awaken, get another draw off, which is solid, but having to swap each turn is definitely a little meh. Then you get to choose a Frieza battle card. It gets 5k for the turn. Not bad, right? So if you are just playing the deck as normal, you can like pay 1 to swap into any number of your random bits of Frieza cards. I think that the Clan Commander is still really solid. Just right off of 1, you get to buff your leader or battle card by 5k, swap into it. It goes to a 20k itself, top 5, and draw a card. Not bad. When this card is placed when a card in your life is placed into your drop by a red Frieza card skill, you get to add the top deck from your deck into your life. Honestly, this is busted. For those that don't know, the Final Showdown Frieza is basically a walking cold bloodlust. When your opponent would play a card, you can crit a life in order to negate that card's skill, and it's activated at counter timing, and it gets a round deflect because it's not part of a counterplay skill. So being able to do that once per turn and just go, all right, I'm just going to make your card not work, is really, really strong. So I do think that it's really important that you get this life back, because it makes that card significantly stronger, because it does get to protect itself, right? I think this is bad in the fact that since you're critting life, which might be like your secret rare, you don't have like a recurable secret rare the way that like black or something does, but you could maybe make this work. I think the card is good, and it's definitely fine. So activate main, play up to 1 red Frieza's army card with an original energy cost of 3 and 15k from your power from your hand. That basically includes exactly Frieza Combo Assault and the old Frieza Barrage from the actual set. So this Frieza Combo Assault is going to be your new 3 cost of choice when it's played. You top 3 for a mono red Frieza's, or when it attacks, sorry, you top 3 for a mono red Frieza's army card and use it in a combo with its skills negated. So this does mean that you're not going to be able to trigger the Jace super combo to draw, which is kind of bad, but you can at least build some extra Z energy, and then choose one of your opponent's battle cards and reduce its power by the same power as the card comboed with. That's a lot of words for a very simple effect. If you combo with something like Loyal Kikono, it's a 110k, which makes it a 010k in this case, and then you get to zap one of your opponent's card by 20,000 power. Same thing with any really high cost Friezas, which is really important for this deck. The fact that it's mono red is really obnoxious because you can swap into the red-blue Frieza that allows you to mill out your opponent, but it's not really going to be your main win con. You can swap into a 5 cost for 1 if your leader's a red Frieza card and you have 3 or more Z energy right into it, and it's a 15k dual attack, so on its own it can build 2 Z energy and probably snipe one of your opponent's card for somewhere between like 8 and 50,000 power. I think on average you're going to be looking at about 20-25. So you are going to probably remove a card when it comes down, which is really solid. Deck is looking good. I think the issue is still going to be from the fact that the rest of the cards are still kind of outdated. There's just not like any barrier removal or anything in the deck. There's no super crazy offensive power, right? This is going to be like a dual attacker, but ultimately you're swinging with a lot of 15Ks that don't have a ton of keywords offensively, and it's not like you're going to be really defensive either because you're not a Saiyan. So you don't have access to the Vegito secret rare in terms of getting 10k for a turn cycle. You don't get King Vegeta's opposing presence. You're basically stuck with the same explosive dance plus testing the opposition combo that every deck is. Not to say that that's bad, that's still solid, but you do have to pick down to 4 very quickly with this deck, and obviously to be a Z leader you have to be at 3. So explosive dance, not as scary when you're at 3 life. Blue/yellow Cabba. Technically not a yellow leader, but it does play blue-yellow cards in it. So this is a free Z Awaken over that SS Cabba Proud Volley, which I think is a really strong piece of support. I think this is going to be the deck that I would assume is the best coming out of this, aside from maybe Invoker, which we'll talk about in a bit. But this stuff just looks really good. So it's a blocker, which means that if you do have a way to switch to active mode, which you do, you'll be able to actually get some additional pressure off of your battle cards, and especially off of your Unison. But when your Blue Universe 6 card is played, you get to draw a card once per turn, which means your turn and your opponent's. Additionally, if it's your opponent's turn, switch up to one of your blue energy to active mode, and this card gains barrier, and that card gains barrier for the turn. That's really important because a big issue with a lot of the arrival cards is that the arrival cards are fine, but they don't make it back to your turn to make it to where it's like worth investing card in hand plus playing the arrival card in order to enable this. But this really allows you to do a lot of pressure, that you get to draw one, get an energy back, right, and then that card gains barrier, making it much stickier. So if you think about this with like the Kefla arrival, you get to go, all right, hey, let's do Kefla arrival, pay 3, bottom deck a card ignoring barrier, and then restand 1, draw 1. And then you come back to your turn and you get to do Kefla's full effect. Like, that's so good. This card is super strong. I think that specific setup is really good. And then activate battle for a spirit boost. You can choose one of your Cabba cards, switch it to active mode, and then use up to 1 Blue Universe 6 card from your drop in a combo with its skills negated for the turn. So that does mean that you are allowed to combo with 110Ks without getting a cost reduction. So just for a spirit boost, you get 10,000 combo power from your drop area. Very good effect. I think that the Goku Frieza is going to be the new default Unison for this deck, just for the fact that it lets you awaken basically immediately. You can do it literally on turn 1 if you go second if you want. I don't know if that's going to be the right thing to do, but you can do it. And then Super Saiyan 2 Cabba, Sudden Growth Anew, blue-yellow 7 cost blocker, arrival for a yellow, draw 1 card. So this card is going to come down for an arrival, and you get to draw 2 and get the energy back. Broken. When this card is played, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards or Unisons, switch it to rest mode. Not a bad effect, but not that great. And then activate main battle for a blue. If your leader is a blue Cabba card and you place this card from your Z energy into your owner's drop, you choose one. You get to either play a hit battlefield manipulation from your deck or hand in rest mode with 2 markers on it and shuffle your deck. This is the in-set hit from when this was created. It has the +1 to draw 1. When you play an arrival card, you add a marker, and then it has like a -1 pay 2 to flip your opponent's leader over for the turn cycle, which now that Z leaders are so popular, it's not that great. I mean, it's like fine still, because sometimes you can still flip your opponent, like if they're playing Android 21 or something, you can just side hit and then immediately win the game by the fact that you just go, all right, I'm going to flip your leader to the front, no extra cards, right? You're playing against like Meki Cabra. If they already used their ultimate effect, they're not able to awaken again because now they've warped all 7 from their drop area. And then the other one is that you can play Super Saiyan Cabba Proud Zenith from your hand. So this card is like an on your opponent's turn battle trick. It's a 19k dual attack blocker, and then it bottom decks a 4 or less, ignoring barrier because it doesn't choose, or on your turn it's a draw 2. Both of those effects are crazy. Pay 1 for a 4 or less, ignoring barrier battle trick from just striking this from your Z energy. Great stuff. Obviously, play it from your hand, draw 2 for just 1 as a 19k dual attack. Also broken. And then obviously if you do this on your opponent's turn, you get that energy back and draw a card. So that's really about it. I think this card looks really solid. I think Cabba was always just like 1 or 2 pieces away because the blue-yellow arrival cards weren't that great, but this card really helps shine the main deck through and push that damage. And then the Z leader is very pushed, right? Getting additional draw power, getting energy back, protecting your cards, and then blocking to protect your Unison is really good. And then it's just a free Z awaken. Obviously it costs 2 Z energy, but without paying energy, it's so worth it. This stuff looks really solid. I'm very impressed, and I'm probably going to try this at locals soon. Then we have Videl. The Great Saiyaman is going to be the card that I actually want to talk about first because it's the simpler card. This is just your new Awaken piece. This allows you to awaken very quickly. If you leave the green Videl, you get to reduce the cost of it in your hand by 3, and then if you have 3 or more energy, it goes to a 25,000 combo power card. Or, not combo power, 25,000 power card. So it's a 1-cost attacker. When it's played, draw 1, and then if you have 3 or more energy, you get to KO one of your opponent's battle cards. Good stuff, right? 1 energy, KO, draw a card. It's a 4 cost, so like it goes towards a lot of like removal pieces. And then getting that 21,000 power means that you're going to be a viable attacker at 25k as well. Then if your leader is a green Videl and you place this card in the owner's drop area, you can draw 2 and pick down a 6 that flip your leader over. Normally that leader would have to awaken at 4, and this allows you to play your game a lot sooner and a lot safer, right? Starting to activate Dormant when you're already at 4 is not very good, since you're probably going to have to take 1 or 2 hits through Dormant. But now you get to start activating it at 6, and well, you're going to be totally fine. Then the Great Saiyaman 2, fresh new hero. Again, a Frieza Awaken for just 1 Z energy. You get to remove this card from the game, and at the end of the damage step, for a battle with this card, play a green unison with a cost of 1 and 6,000 power from your drop. So you're going to play out that Great Saiyaman from the deck itself, or from the drop itself, allowing you to make sure that you get the Spirit Boost effect from your leader's regular side, because all of that is still at the end of the battle, but this is going to be at the end of the damage steps, which is before the end of battle. And then activate battle for a green. If you have 3 or more energy or 2 or more green cards in your combo area, you can play a Great Saiyaman card from your hand, and it gains blocker until the end of your opponent's turn, which is like fine, right? Like you can use this to activate battle, play out this new Great Saiyaman Protector as a free piece of removal for just 1. That's something that green doesn't really have a lot of, is battle tricks, and this allows you to draw a card back and KO one of your opponent's cards. And then activate battle, you get to combo with a green Skillet from your drop area. Very solid in terms of just getting additional combo power, making sure that you're building Z energy, and keeping the ball rolling. Goku's Lineage. I think this is another piece of really broken support. I'm going to really try this one out myself as well. So this is not a Frieza Awaken, much like Frieza, but it has the exact same condition, 3 or less life, 1, and then it costs 1 Z energy instead of 2. You go over the Goku Jr. Scion of the lineage. So this is actually like the end of the show where Goku is saying bye and he flies off with Nimbus at the end of GT. Activate main. If you have 4 more energy, draw 1, and the next time you activate swap skill, reduce cost of 5 activates its swap skill, sorry. You have to reduce that cost by 1. So this does allow you to go into your 8 cost Height of Mastery a lot simpler and easier. And then activate main for 1, return one of your Goku's Lineage cards with an energy cost of 5 from your hand, or remove this card from the game. You get to play a different one with an energy cost of 5. So this is really broken. Things like the Pan really allow you to just like push the game forward in a really broken way, where like Pan produces 2 more bodies and allows you to just push a lot. So you'll be able to like make 4 bodies for 1 swap, which is crazy. And especially like the Kaioken one allows you to restand your leader and get extra plus and draw, and I think this has got a really good chance of being a very solid combo deck. The big issue is going to be Floodgates, as always, for yellow. And then we have the Son Goku Lineage to the Pinnacle. Blocker, swap 8 into an 8 cost. Counterplay, choose one of your Goku Lineage cards and return it to the owner's hand. Play this card, and then choose one of your opponent's battle cards and energy cost of 3 or less, and switch it to rest mode. And then if your life is at 4 or less, you can activate that counter skill without paying its energy cost. So this is a great way to protect your cards on board, right? If you're looking at like some of those early cards, as long as you're at 4 or less, you can like grab the Goten back and then play this, and immediately that sticks you to a 5, which then you could trigger off of this leader effect to bounce this 5 back to your hand and play a different 5, or you could then swap immediately right on 3 into Height of Mastery and push for game with like a really early weird push. I don't know, man. This stuff just seems really solid, and I'm honestly very impressed by it. I think that Goku's Lineage has always been a deck that has the ability to cheese opponents. I mean, we saw Ivo top with it last October in the same event that I got 3rd with U7. It was just a weird day, and he really proved that that deck has a lot of weird aggro synergy, and all of a sudden you could just switch leaders. Obviously it changes a little bit because you lose the other 5 costs, but this allows you to swap the 5 for a different 5 anyway. So like it does the same thing now, but in the better leader. I don't know, man. Stuff just seems really good. I'm really impressed here. I really want to test this one out myself. And then finally, we have my teammate, the ever handsome, one of the most talented players in the world, literally our current world champion, is Michael Carrick Legends, and he has created this card here. I don't want to talk too much about it, just a really strong card. I do actually have an interview going up on our team's channel with him, talking about this card, the inspiration behind it from art to cost to what it does to play, and then obviously we go over its effect and some of its applications. So, you know, you just get that extra effect where it's going to be searchable from your leader. You're going to be able to count it towards your Apex of Powers 5 extra cards and drop area effect when you do start getting to that point. It doesn't count as an extra in hand, which is a little bit weird, which is just like, it's not weird, it's actually explained by the rules of like why they couldn't really make that work. But you do obviously get to activate tournament power, which increases your consistency, and then like you get energy back, and you get to switch your leader to active mode, so you can make that that your opponent like can't attack it, and then it has blocker, and oh, this card is so good. Thank you, Carrick. It is exactly what we wanted. I hope you guys get to enjoy this, and for those of you that hate Invoker, well, that's too damn bad. We'll see you on the next one.